is episode 21. We're fucking legal everywhere now, bitches.
I enjoy Spencer's stuff. That's dirty.
Spencer's novelties. I love Spencer's
novelties. I enjoy his novelties.
Don't buy weed from Spencer's.
We're just not going to mention how much, like, porn-related stuff they sell, right?
I that's the joke.
Back to Explain the Strain. Yeah, thank you for the dildo pep talk there. And welcome to Always Room for More. I'm your host, Chris Moore. With me always, my beautiful girlfriend, Katrina Penny.
Hi, I'm Katrina.
And my best friend, Ryan.
Hi there, I'm Ryan.
And I also have a new special guest, my best friend, Becca.
Hello, hello.
We let Spinny have the night off because, like I said, he's a working dog, I think. He works hard, and he's a good guy. So he needs to have a good night off every now and then.
Yeah, he's juggling a lot right now, so we said we'd give him a night off every once in a while and get somebody else on, so we decided to get Becca.
I'm glad to fill a gap.
Well, he's going to work fucking hard editing this podcast, so I'll make sure of that, because I'm going to fuck up probably a lot like I usually do.
Well, how about we smoke weed about it?
Okay.
That's always the plan. Isn't that just how you like life?
Well, yeah, that's how you get through a lot of stress. You smoke weed about it, and you feel less stress. So we're going to smoke some weed about it.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Smoke weed about it. Legalization has really helped with that in terms of just being able to access good stuff and then do weed about life.
Well, like I saw on Twitter the other day, Jim Belushi, everyone know Jim Belushi?
Yeah.
Fucking great comedian actor. A lot of people don't like him, but I fucking love him.
Wait, was he the one in Blues Brothers?
No, his brother was. John Belushi.
I was like, I know John
always
Belushi.
Get them mixed up.
John Belushi was in the Blues Brothers movie, and I don't know if he did the sequel or not. No, it was John Candy, or not John Candy. Yeah, that's Jim Belushi. Brian just showed us a picture of Jim Belushi.
Oh, is that according to Jim?
Yeah, according to Jim, he's Jim Belushi.
Oh.
I keep saying his fucking name. He's gonna fucking appear soon.
John Belushi owns a whole bunch of wine distilleries and fields down in Niagara Falls.
That's Dan
sick.
Aykroyd.
Oh, you're right. Well, I literally had Dan Aykroyd's face painted over Jim Belushi. John Belushi, don't ask me.
John Belushi died in the 80s.
Yeah, no, I do that a lot with actors. I don't know why. I'm just like, I've decided to transplant your face.
Girl, same. I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
Well, Jim Belushi is a weed farmer now.
Nice.
He's an actor and weed farmer. He fucking has a cultivation. He has a whole Twitter about it.
I'm not surprised he has a weed farm.
Right. And well, he asked, how's legalization affected you? Is it legal where you are, and how's it affected you? And I was like, well, Canadians here.
I saw that tweet.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, Canadians here. It's been legal since October 27th or 17th, 2018.
Yeah.
So it's affected us by letting us have a place we can go get it without having to wait 4 hours or having to deal with, someone saying, oh, we can't get it yet because our buddy hasn't picked up yet. Or even letting us know, like, this is sativa and this is indica. Yeah. This is the peanut butter.
Having more information on the strains has definitely made a difference, like, on how we're smoking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And it is nice to have it right at your fingertips. I mean, obviously, it was nice because they can't obviously do certain things that, your old school dealers could. Like, they can't spot you.
They don't exactly, do, like, running tabs.
They won't do a running tab for you. And,
like
if you need at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're kind of shit out of luck unless they have a service that's running at 4 o'clock in the morning, which you're probably not going to find.
No, the latest delivery service, I think, stopped at like 10.
Yeah, so you got to be kind of on the ball with that. And certain stoners, not quite on the ball.
Not exactly. But you learn to be preemptive.
How many times have we ran out of weed at 2 a.m. and gone, oh, shit.
That's
not in a while.
Not in a while. No.
You remember back in the day, like, you message your, like, buddy trying to pick up weed at, like, 11 in the morning. Like, you'd be on top of that. You wake up in the morning, you're like, I want want
the
weed
first
today.
message.
Let's try and get some weed. And like 8 p.m. or like 9 p.m. he gets back to you. He's like, oh, sorry, man. I couldn't get any, man.
It's like, you mean I could have been searching for another dude this entire time? Like, oh, yeah, that used to piss me off.
Legal marijuana is best thing ever for that.
Sure.
And also, like, the whole goal that the reason that they said they legalized is because they really wanted to take it out of kids' hands. And I'm pretty sure we can all speak to the fact that, like, when we first tried it, we were underage.
Oh, of course.
We were kids.
I was 18.
Oh, you were? Okay, but I think you have to be 19.
I was...
But damn!
It was my 18th birthday I smoked my first
I
toke.
only know one person that has actually smoked later. My partner, he was 25.
Yeah. No, my first toke was on my 18th birthday, and that was because underage drinking had gotten to me, and I couldn't stand to have a drink. It was like, I was like physically like, oh, don't even bring that near me. And it was my 18th birthday. I wanted to celebrate. So I wanted to go.
Instead of drinking.
So I wanted to have something. And my friends were like, well, why don't you try it?
Good choice.
And then, I've been smoking ever since. So.
Well, fair enough. That's good for you because you ruined less of your brain. But anyway, that is one thing that I do
Baby,
know.
my brain was already fucked.
I mean, I wasn't talking mental health. I'm just more saying that, like, if I had have known back when I was a kid that it messes with your brain development, I think I would have thought twice, but they just didn't know. It wasn't out there as much. Mm-hmm. So that's the one thing that they legalized for, the big thing they kept promoting is we want to get it out of kids' hands because it fucks with their brain development.
Which makes sense.
And they've been really successful at that. It's just something I want to say. Like, I remember as a kid going looking for a gram, and I ended up in some sketchy places. Like, going down some... I went some places that, like, if... I could have gotten in a lot of trouble. We'll just say, like, could have found myself, God knows, kidnapped. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Just went into some sketchy apartments. Didn't know anybody in the apartment. I was just like, you got a G? I got $10.
Yeah.
Did you ever call it a Beano?
No.
No. You remember that from Beale?
No. Because I wasn't in the crowd. No.
See, he said that to me for the first time. I was like, what did you just call it? What? Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I said, I didn't start smoking until a later age, but all of my friends were stoners, and they were like we talked about this in previous episodes. I was such a bitch about it. So when they found out that I was smoking weed, they all called me a hypocrite, but then they were like, come smoke a bowl.
You should have heard this guy, because I used to ream them out about smoking in between classes and stuff, and I'd be like, what are you doing skipping? Because I was that A student who was like a super book nerd.
Same.
You know, and so... When he found out that I was closet smoking all through high school, like I just did it after class, after school, he was just like, you son of a bitch.
Hey, man.
When she says he, she's referring to me.
Sorry. No, I was pointing at Ryan that whole time.
Yeah, it's not a video podcast yet. I was going to say, hey, man, we brought a whole new meaning to bagged lunch, okay?
Our lunch breaks were definitely well spent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I hated that, though, because all of my friends would ditch me to go smoke weed, and because I didn't smoke weed, I was just sitting there going, well, what
you know,
do I do?
Do you see how Chris is hiding behind his microphone right now?
Yeah.
Because I had one person that came to lunch.
I feel like there's a divide.
One person.
You should be hiding too,
Guess who it was?
Christopher.
So when Chris blew me off, I just sat there by myself.
I feel that because
every day.
On top of my friends that were stoners, the friends that didn't do that to me transferred schools.
Oh shit.
So literally all I had left were my stoner friends who used to go into the back forest and just leave me, and I'm like, okay, see ya.
Yeah, this guy was just like, I'm too busy getting high. But now that we've brought up lunch, I remembered my favorite lunchtime memory, and I want to share it, where I got pop.
Oh yeah.
I would come to school with these massive lunches. They were these huge containers full of food. And I would always have a thermos with whatever drink that I was given. And it was often juice. But this particular day, he decided to put pop in it. No thought on we had pop, he put pop in it. So Chris is sitting across from me. I'm sitting, like we have the same spot we always sit in, because that's kind of how the cafeteria ends up working. There's kids just behind us in their regular spot. Mm-hmm. And I'm opening my food, and then I open up the thermos, take the lid off with the little thing you can drink from.
Yeah.
And then I go to open the actual lid, and I twist it, and
Oh no.
It sprays Chris and I square in the face, and we're just like sitting there shocked. And the kids behind Chris are pissing themselves laughing.
Oh my god.
Absolutely losing it because they got to see the visual shock of us just being like, well, that just happened.
So I just had a little bit of a weird, awkward flashback. You know when you have those flashbacks that like you can smell something? Mm-hmm. Okay? Well, I just had that, and when you're talking about the cafeteria, all I could smell was cafeteria, and I can just say right now, I always hated that smell. Like, you walk into a cafeteria, you know the smell. It's every single motherfucker that's in there, all of their single like little lunches all mixed together in this mingling smell of food that doesn't go together. And then you also have the teenage BO on top of it. So it's just like you're walking into this festering room of gross, but you're in there to get your lunch, and then you somehow brave to use the microwave because you need to heat up your food. So you go in there, and you go in there, and you just like, you're sitting there, and like somebody has just heated up something that smells awfully nasty.
Oh, now this sounds like university.
Oh God, no! This was high school for me, and I just remember because also our school had a little cafeteria. It wasn't big, but it had a little
I guess Beals was kind of big.
Food section. No, ours was not big at all. So it's like all the food smell just lingered throughout the concourse, and you're just like, whoa.
I was gonna say, yeah.
At least we had a separate room for where they actually sold the food.
And then it also brings me back to like, I'm reverting also all the way back to
Bringing up bad memories.
elementary school, grade 7. All of us had to sit in the gym to eat. Okay. And
Wait, you got to sit in the gym to eat?
Yeah, we had
with the smell of like dirty feet and fucking sweaty.
Yeah,
fucking
at my
gym.
one school, because I switched elementary schools a lot. So at my one school for 7 and 8, the protocol was we didn't have a cafeteria or anything like that. Whatever. So all the certain grades would have their lunches whenever. But
they had them at different times?
I don't remember exactly. I don't remember if we had all the grades shoved into that gym, but I do remember my grade and like 7 and 8 were in the gym. I think like the younger grades might have had their lunches in their classrooms.
That sounds like the worst place to eat your gym.
Yeah.
Eat your gym.
I remember
The pot's
because
having its effect.
my group of friends always used to sit in the far corner at the gym, and you walk in and it's like the white wall smell with that paint, right? Mm-hmm. Those white bricks, and then you have like the mats on the wall, and like it's the gym smell.
Yeah.
The gym smell mixed with everybody's food, and I'm just like,
I need to survive this.
And you mentioning the cafeteria just brought me right back.
Clearly, you were passionate about that for the last 5 minutes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Damn.
I feel like it's good. You got your emotions out.
Yeah, you were traumatized by calf areas and
I
eating
don't
lunch.
like it.
Don't make her go to cafeterias.
No.
They're weird and they make me uncomfortable.
Never again.
We think we know why.
I mean, it did involve elementary school. That should have been in itself.
It's triggering in
Christ.
every way.
Just those white gym walls, those white bricks, you know exactly the type of wall I'm talking about, and I hate it. I hate it. Also, gym class was traumatizing in itself. I was a fat kid. I'm still a fat kid.
I refused gym class. I was
liked it.
definitely that person who just sat and was like, give me a D. I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't have the confidence to do that. But I didn't have the confidence to be doing gym class either. So I was like I was like doing everything I possibly could to blend into the back of the crowd. And every time somebody looked at me, I was like 2 steps away from crying. Gym class was torture.
I didn't mind gym class. I liked gym class. I was a fat kid, yeah, but I was one of those fat kids that liked to do things like play basketball or play the street hockey.
So was I. I was very athletic until I got too self-conscious to be athletic. So what happened?
What you look like?
So what happened was I was in grade 6. I joined the volleyball team, and I loved volleyball. It was one of my favorite sports. I was really, really good at it. My team actually won a championship, which was pretty awesome. And then I went to a new school in grade 7 because my special education class only went up to grade 6. Mm-hmm. So I had to switch schools. And for grade 7 and 8, And basically, when that happened, I joined the volleyball team for grade 7 at the new school. Oh. Well, I was surrounded by all these stick thin girls who had barely hit puberty yet. And I was twice their size. I had hit puberty, so I had.
So you were like very wavy and curly.
I had arm hair, leg hair, and I hadn't been taught how to shave my legs yet.
You shouldn't at that age. You're so young.
Oh, sorry. I did in grade 6 because in grade 6 I was too self-conscious to wear shorts. For the volleyball team I was on in grade 6 because I had to wear shorts all the time. So my mom taught me to shave my legs in grade 6. So I did. I lie. Young. But I had to wear shorts for volleyball practice in grade 7. And in grade 7, the grade 7 boys used to sit on the stage and watch the girls' volleyball team. And they would shout at us. And
awkward.
I had to wear shorts, which I was already uncomfortable in. And they were making fun of me while I was running.
Ugh.
So I ended up being too self-conscious to do the running.
Yeah.
And I would get yelled at. And then I just didn't get along with the girls on the team because I felt like they were always like making fun of me because they were like the really popular girls. So I wanted to quit.
So you ended up getting off the team, or?
I eventually was like, my coach wouldn't let me quit the season.
Oh.
But I didn't rejoin in grade 8. And I basically ended my volleyball there. And I could have like gone on to like high school volleyball if I really wanted to, but my self-consciousness held me back.
Bummer. Like, well, and that people like bullying, right?
Well, bullying was all throughout.
It happens, unfortunately. It's something that we're like people really are trying to prevent from happening. It isn't happening as much anymore.
It is actually.
It is
still a rampant
but you can.
issue.
It is. It's still a rampant. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying like you can tell, but there are more kids now being like, "Whoa, that's not cool," and kind of thing, and stepping in.
It's not being accepted as much amongst the kids themselves, that's definitely what's needed. The problem is that. Sorry, I don't want to get too political here, but
no, it's cool.
A lot of the responses of schools is still very patriarchal and very authoritarian, and so it's not actually helping prevent bullying at all. A lot of it's just moving online.
Well,
yeah, no, it 100% moved to cyberbullying, and they really have no control over that. And I went through it really bad at certain points, and all I got was just, well, we'll do our best, and it's like, yeah, I know you will, thanks.
And then we get 13 Reasons Why. Anyway, what were you going to say, Chris?
Well, I was going to say, it's interesting is that, like, at my work, I even noticed, like, it feels like high school. Like, there's cliques and, like, people feel like they talk bad about other people and stuff like that. And
that's just like, how, like, workplaces are.
But I was especially large companies.
But I was saying to someone else though, like some days it does feel like you're in high school because like there's people that are kind of like bickering with each other because they don't like the way they don't like to work with each other, so like that, so they won't talk to each other, so they're just silent and just being all moody and stuff like that. It's like holy shit, like.
That's, yeah.
You guys are 40 fucking something years old, like.
Some people never grow up, so their issues don't grow, like, they just come with them.
I know, it's just interesting, because they say high school, you know, is there to prepare you for the rest of your life, and maybe they don't tell you exactly what they're telling you, what they're preparing you for.
Yeah, really, right? Well, then that brings up the, like, why don't, and I've heard they do in some places now, but it's like, why aren't they teaching us helpful things like how to do our taxes, and, like, useful things? There's a lot of cases where kids in Western society in particular are put in these like bubbles until they're 18, and then they're like shit, I don't know.
Sorry.
Kids in Western society. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought because this pod is really good.
Pothole.
Yeah, there was a moment of what was I just talking about? Because by the way, Ryan, this wax fucked me up. So that's,
do you feel high school high?
High school.
Yeah, high. No, I think I'm getting there, seriously. But I was talking something about Western schools. Western society.
Oh, teaching taxes.
Some places they're teaching kids taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah, which isn't very common. But it's more just the problem that, like, a lot of things... In Western society, we bubble kids up until the age of 18 in, like, this very insulated world or existence, and then we're like, okay, so now that you spent your whole life imagining what you'd like to do, here's reality where you have to pay your bills and survive and do all these things, and welcome to taxes, figure it out, just pay someone to do it, I hope you have the money.
Now, I kind of got lucky because my school system really looked out for me. Well, I mean, to an extent. I went to a really great high school. I had some really phenomenal teachers that worked with me because I had an IEP, which for people who don't know, that's an individual education plan. And I basically have a disability with math. I'm dyslexic, and there was a lot of things that I needed help with. So I would go to a special room and get extra help with my homework and stuff like that. Cool, whatever. There was a point to that. Oh, I failed grade 9 math. Okay. And because I failed grade 9 math, my one teacher who was kind of like overseeing my whole like school she dealt with my IEP the most and stuff.
Okay, yep.
So she had suggested, because you technically in Canada at least, or Ontario, you only need 3 math credits to graduate high school.
Yeah, you got to get 9, 10, and then
11, and then you can. But technically, it doesn't matter which 3 credits of math you get. You just need at least 3 math credits.
Right. Yeah.
So what she did for me, and what she had suggested for me, after I went to summer school to rectify the fact that I had failed grade 9 math, she was like, we're going to take you out of grade 10 math. We're not going to put you in grade 10 math. You're going to take a different course. I ended up taking drama instead.
Cool.
And then in grade 11, we're going to give you second semester grade 11 workplace math, and then first semester of grade 12 you're going to have grade 12 workplace math. Now in workplace math, I was taught how to do taxes.
Because you're in the workplace, so it's applicable math.
It's all applicable math.
They should just change all the classes to workplace math.
So
that's my vote.
We had a whole thing where she taught us how to fill out tax forms. Now, here's the breaker. I did not retain it. However,
that reminds me of so much university.
We were taught in that class how to fill out a tax form. We did a lot of work with like just really simple, basic, everyday, what you're going to need math.
That there are some situations in some schools where they give you the opportunity, but it's just not as common as it should be.
And I'm very upset because my high school closed, and I really was really heartbroken when I heard about that.
Yeah, that's been happening a lot with lack of funding and stuff.
Mm-hmm. It was a small school, but I feel like being a smaller school is what made it so much better for me, because they were able to focus more on their students individually,
exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
And education is important. We have way too stupid people out there as it is.
No, like, I loved my high school. I really did.
Sometimes the problem with the uneducated is that there's too much information out there actually right now.
Yeah.
And being able to filter through the abundance of crap is a skill that not enough people have access to.
Right, like critical thinking skills, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's commonly comes from going to post-secondary, but you can learn it in other ways.
Well,
it's
sure.
just that's often why people will judge you negatively or positively based on whether you've been to college or university, because they kind of decide that's the line of critical thinking. Whereas like sometimes life just forces you to learn it, and some people never do.
I've learned more from being out of school, I think, like, about life than I have like when I was in college or anything like that. I mean, I went to college for photography, let's be honest, so I didn't really learn much about life in that except how to pose people properly.
But you learned a bit about critical thinking. It's just part of post-secondary.
Well, I didn't finish my high school. I dropped out because I'm an idiot. Like we already talked about, I smoked a lot of weed during school. Ryan was a smart one.
He failed because of one credit. Had to mention that.
Ryan was a smart one, and he actually was able to finish high school, even though he was a stoner. So don't blame the weed, folks. I'm fucking lazy. I got.
You got around to it. He got his GED.
Well, I didn't get my GED. I went back to adult school.
Doesn't that mean getting your GED?
I don't fucking know. I went to an adult school. I took a course in travel and tourism.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. Getting your GED means you went back and got a credit, but it was in adult school.
Oh, I thought GED meant you did the book and filled out the work. 'Cause I know people who've done that.
Oh, I don't know. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I have no idea.
I think
what
it's
you're
different because you actually get your high school diploma through
Basically,
doing
yeah.
adult school.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I had a graduation.
Right,
and everything.
because there's...
I know, I was there.
There's because a GED is just like a more of a test that you do, and then like going through school and stuff like that is you're going through and finishing the courses that you did not get, like, or getting those credits
That's
that
why
you
there's
did
a
not
whole
get.
graduation. I never really put that together.
Yeah. So it is, like, technically the equivalent of really getting your high school
well, I'm
diploma
so glad you did that.
versus having to write a GED.
Well, it was interesting because I liked that course. It was actually very interesting to take the travel and tourism stuff and learn kind of things.
Yeah, you were really into it at the time.
You know, one class that I got to take in college that was really fun and I really enjoyed, it was in my second year we got to pick an elective. And
electives sometimes are best.
I really enjoyed it. I took the rock and soul class. And we learned about all different, like, we learned about the Beatles, we learned about Aretha Franklin, we learned about Jimi Hendrix a little bit, I think. We learned about the Beach Boys. We learned about so many different singers and stuff, and it was a lot of fun.
That's pretty awesome.
Cool. My favorite course when I took Human Services at, it was Human Services Foundations at Fanshawe. Now I'm in social work, but it was my elective. It was this really awesome English course where I learned about... the description of it made me cringe. I was just like, because it was about heroes and learning about heroes, and my first thought was, oh, we're just going to learn about people who praise themselves. Yeah. And like a bunch of millionaires who like to call themselves philanthropists and, you know, givers. Yeah. Meanwhile, they're the hogs.
Yeah, I haven't seen one become Batman yet. What the fuck?
Right, exactly. That's my main point. But anyway, so they have the resources for it, especially fucking Bezos. But,
who cares those?
Oh no, another pothole. This shit is too good. You gotta stop getting me off the track of what I'm saying.
Me and Becky actually took the same guitar class actually, and Beale. Yeah. Well, and our teacher was a magician.
What was I saying though? I was saying
you were talking about philanthropists in your hero class.
Yeah.
The hero class. The main thing was it was actually really amazing because what we did was we studied the history of abolitionists. And I learned a lot about the how writing plays a really huge role in political change, because people that write, like, that's something that is, back then at least in the 1800s, really got out a lot. And so it was really cool to learn about real world heroes who did real hero things. Like she didn't go on about... And I wouldn't have had a problem learning about Batman. That's not what I meant. But she didn't go on about these like modern day like people who like love to crown themselves. Mm-hmm. She taught me about people who were foundational to the society we live in. It was so cool.
See, I kind of wish I had taken something like that. I really did enjoy learning about all the different musicians and like their past and stuff like that. And we learned about Pink Floyd, and I think I actually did my final essay on Pink Floyd. But what was really, like, we had, like...
I just inhaled.
Harsh toke?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're okay?
Some ash?
Yeah.
You got water there?
Oh, God.
I got water. Yeah, but I inhaled a little ash. That was nasty.
I kind of wish I had taken, like, one of the more, like, historical classes, or, like, we had, like, you could take some really interesting ones, because it was at Fanshawe, right? So, like, the list of electives are pretty interesting there.
Yeah, depending, yeah.
You know, but I felt like rock and soul, I kind of took the easy way a little bit, because I felt like that was going to be my easiest choice, and it wasn't going to end up being, like, super stressful for me, but I would still enjoy the content.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do wish that I had done something a little more, like, philosophical or something like that.
I literally only chose that course because it was the only one that would fit, because I actually had very few electives that I could choose from in my particular situation. I just got lucky where even though it sounded awful, it actually turned out to be really amazing. So there's still lots of value in the one you chose, I think.
When I went to Police Foundations, it was actually pretty interesting that one of the electives was, like, basically mystery writing. And
nice,
I was like,
you must have loved that.
Fucking perfect, yeah. I think I was 2 people signed up for that class in my course. Everyone else took history stuff.
In your course, so you were mixed with other people.
Yeah. And so there was two of us from the Police Foundation course in that class. It was just really interesting because it was like, we watched one of my new favorite movies from Jack Nicholson, Chinatown, and everyone's ever seen it. It's a fucking awesome fucking movie.
Gilmore Girls references it. That's the only reason I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I have not seen that movie.
No, probably
so
not.
You are
a lot
the
of people
only
have. Yeah. It's a great detective movie, and that was the whole thing. Was that we got to learn how to write detective novels, and I wrote my first detective short story for it in that class.
This was actually a
Oh.
writing class. What I was doing, it was an English writing class, right? So we had to write a story at the end.
That's cool.
So I
Exactly.
kind of learned a bit about the hero's adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I forget who wrote it. Some guy. It's called someone's hero's adventure thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's
It's
what
a
all
structure of like all
exactly
fairy
how
tales of all basic
stories are structured.
hero stories. So it's like starts with the climax or whatever, goes through the tragedy. I'm naming this terribly, but you could Google it easily.
There's the lead up, then the climax, and then the kind of.
I'm just gonna
Eases
Google
off.
it now because
Well,
I just said
basically how like the hero has to start the journey. Well, we recently watched Interstellar, right?
Yeah.
So if you remember Interstellar, when we first meet him, he's waking up from a nightmare because he tried to be a fucking space pilot and crashed. So that ruined his career being a space pilot, became a farmer. So now he's having nightmares about that. So that's the beginning of his story, being like, here is your purpose.
Hero's journey. That's what it is.
Right.
Hero's journey. Sorry.
Exactly. So here is your purpose. And this is how you start your journey by when he gets contacted by himself. Again, spoilers. If you haven't seen Interstellar, people, I'm sorry.
Or if you haven't listened to the
So-
podcast.
Yeah, you go listen to that episode. That was our last episode, episode 20. This is episode 21. We're fucking legal everywhere now, bitches.
So here it is. There's like this is the basic hero's journey
Yeah.
chart.
So
I'm
you-
showing it to Ryan right now, and he can show it to Trina after. But it's just a structure that a lot of writers know about.
Oh, I've heard
Exactly.
about that because of in my English class, grade like 11
Yeah,
and
you
12.
would have learned it
Yeah.
in English class. Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't called that. It was just like your basic, like how to write a story plot. Like,
it was probably based on the hero's journey.
yeah. But
So,
I
yes.
know what you're talking about. You know, you have every story has like the beginning, middle, end, but you have your climax. You have your beginning point, and then you have your like middle point, and then you have your climax, and then your resolution, and then like
Sort of, yeah.
the
There's-
way
You'll
It's-
see, because
it's-
it's
yeah,
sort of
it's-
more based on like old literature.
Yeah, like Homer's Odyssey.
Okay.
Yes, which I have read.
Yes,
That's one I
read it, but
actually
haven't
really
read
want to
too.
read, but I don't feel like I have the mental capacity to handle it.
The Odyssey isn't bad. The Iliad is boring as fuck. I also read that. Sorry, it is.
Oh, I can't focus
Ancient
on
Greek
reading this right
tomes.
now. Send it
Poems.
to the group.
Yeah, totally.
Yes,
That-
we'll put it up on the podcast
Yeah,
page and
we'll
stuff.
put it up on the
Try to find
good
the
old
link.
social meds so you can find it and see it for yourself.
Yeah, it's
show.
interesting to know when you write stories that have that kind of knowledge and stuff like that.
Well,
Like, that's
you're really like creative writer, and I really love when you do create stories, because like you some of the times you just like you've explained certain plot lines that you've wanted to create into movies or write stories about, and you just explain the plot line is like listening to an audiobook, and I'm like, oh really? Okay. Sometimes I zone out if it's not like totally catching my attention, but there have been certain storylines that you've told me where I'm like, that's dope. What happens next? And I feel like I'm listening to a horror podcast or something, right?
Well, I was thinking maybe doing a spin-off where I start just talking about the ideas that I have for stories, or just reading the stories that I've written.
See,
or
don't give
something out
away
loud.
don't give away your ideas. Make it something first, because if you just spew out all your ideas, then somebody can take that. But if you create something from it, that's your creation.
But if it's recorded, it's mine.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, it has. I mean,
If
you'll
it's
have
out
that
there.
shit time stamped.
And like, I'm seeing on Twitter a lot, like people that we listen to on YouTube. Shout out to Slumber Reads. We listen to them all the time. You know, they're doing a really good job and everything like that. We love listening to them when we go to bed.
Yeah.
And they talk about how they don't steal other people's stories. If people submit stories to them, they'll read them, but they won't go out and like take other people's stories.
Yeah.
And like, if our stories or if my story is out there on a new podcast or I'm gonna do or whatever, no one can take that because it's already out there on under my name, basically.
Yeah.
Cool, because like there's a lot of artist theft going on with
Right.
the change in, well, there's so many more people putting content out, and a lot of people are like, well, you're just a little nobody, so what does it matter?
You're
But
nothing
it
but a
always matters.
copycat. Blah blah blah.
It always matters, yeah.
Also, like, we just won from Bullhorn this brand new beautiful mic that I really want to use, and we can take it out anywhere. Like we can go out when everything starts to open up. Roommates are able to go to their shows and do band stuff.
Yeah, when they actually
That's
can
cool.
play again and stuff like that, we want to take it and do like interviews and stuff like that.
That is so cool.
Right?
Right.
So we want to like try and kind of make a network for ourselves and like have maybe one or more other podcasts that we can, put different content on.
Maybe I could collaborate with you, not to plug myself, but just to
No,
mention
go ahead.
I do have a YouTube channel, and
I was
so
gonna
I'd be
say that
happy
you
to
do that.
offer my camera, and we could
Yeah.
like.
Well, definitely I definitely want to plug that at the when we're closing up because we definitely want to get your information out there.
Yeah, but no, I'm just like I would for your shows moving forward. You take the recording with your cool mic, and I could take the camera shot.
Yeah, for sure. That would be dope. Because,
Exactly.
honey, I have absolutely no clue when it comes to video. I'm a photographer. I do still images.
Yeah. I've been slowly learning of my own volition videography, so I do like wedding videos for fun. Otherwise, I just do vlogging. But I've been learning a lot, and now I have like some certain equipment that helps you stabilize the camera.
That's awesome.
It's on my Amazon wish list.
Yeah, I guess we
No, yeah, like, I would definitely totally be down to get you involved. I mean, you gotta want to go to metal shows, but I don't see that being a problem.
They're a bit loud, but I know that even when you put earplugs in, you hear it, so I'll be prepared.
Earmuffs plus earmuffs. You can get like the work earmuffs. I see people wear them too.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounded like a well-spoken metalhead.
No.
They're a bit loud, but I know if you put earplugs in, you can still hear it. I'll be good.
hey.
It was
most-
cute. Leave it alone. It's fine.
I'll be honest. I thought about bringing headphones in a lot of time or earplugs in all the time too because like it gets loud in
People
there.
who go to concerts like that actually, end up with a lot of hearing damage over time. So.
Oh, you don't say. Talking to the one person that is always by the speaker that has crappy hearing. Yeah, that's me.
So, I kind of
Man.
like to sometimes take care of my
But the
engineer
only place
who
to be
has,
at a concert is right next to the speaker, man. That's the best place to be. And for some reason, I always end up right next to a freaking speaker.
I think it's because you get really good shots with your camera that way.
Basically, yeah. Like, I'm always taking photos usually at shows, or I was at one point.
Yeah.
And, yeah, the best way to get near the stage is to go by the speakers. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, I shared on Instagram that I'm here today. Now my mom's following you.
Awesome. Well,
okay, cool. Hey.
hello.
Hi, Mom.
if you listen in on this one.
She probably will.
That's cute. That's cute. I mean, let's be honest. My mom is our biggest fan.
Yeah.
Like, she likes every single one of our episodes. She listens to every single one of our episodes.
Even though she's 2 rooms over.
Yeah.
Yep.
She, like,
Awesome.
she is so cute. I love it. It's adorable.
Yeah.
great.
Mom support. Woo.
Exactly. That's what
No,
we
we've
want.
got a couple regular listeners, and we really appreciate every single one of them.
Yeah,
so,
my brothers are regular listeners now.
Our
like
neighbors.
Justin and Jordan. Yeah,
That's
our neighbors. Yeah.
Ben and Tanny. Yeah.
Justin loves when we go on space adventures and talk about space shit all the time.
Yeah,
Like,
the
that's-
space ones really hit home with Justin.
Yeah. I think the last one was good for him. Interstellar should be good. The
Yeah.
one before that,
Oh, yeah.
wasn't much space on that one.
Yeah.
Space is good.
No, we're not going there today. Nope. This is a space-free episode, my friend. Spinny's not here.
Well, let's smoke weed on that.
Yeah.
And we're smoking today, actually.
Speaking of which,
Yeah,
yeah.
explain the strain time, folks. Becca brought us this beautiful bud. I only got to take pictures of what I busted up because I forgot to take pictures of the bud beforehand.
That's how excited he was to try it.
It was called peanut butter breath, and it looked delicious, guys. It doesn't taste like peanut butter, but it tasted pretty damn good.
I guess I could just say thanks, Mom, because that was actually from my mom.
Oh, see, they brought her up.
Oh.
Maybe we can thank her again.
Getting weed from your mom.
Thanks, Mom.
No, we go to our
What
dispensary.
are
together.
moms for
My
other than
mom
to supply you with the
knows
thing you need?
What I like, yes.
We just throw your mom under the bus for the first time now?
No, I mean I've done that many
This is
times
a-
in the
this
past,
is the
but
bus
this
driving
I call this
podcast.
elevating her.
Yeah, fair
You
enough.
know, like-
Oh, she might be proud. She can hear that and be like, my daughter.
What
She
would be the
mentioned
difference
me.
in like my dad? What's the difference in my dad coming over and giving me beer?
Nothing.
That's true.
Exactly right.
It's legal, bitches.
Exactly. She's just sharing her because something to mention if you want to mention the provider, because I know oftentimes Chris will like give a little plug to the whatchamacallit?
Our
Provider.
local dispensary, but yeah.
Thank you,
Dispenser.
dispensary, because I'm just, my brain's not working
Dispensary,
right now.
yeah,
You
that's
got
the
me
word.
too high, okay? That's just that. But anyhow.
Means it works.
They give freebies when you order from them a lot, and so my mom just passes on the freebies to me, which is why we had it today.
Well, what I believe because the package, I see the package, and it's from THC for You. It's a place you can order online in London. It's a London delivery service.
Yeah, my mom uses it.
Yeah, so you got to be
a lot.
local, folks. Sorry about that.
Yeah, but it's a good place. We've used it a couple times, and they have a what do they call that? When you have a card that you can put.
It's kind of like a
punch on?
rewards card.
Yeah.
But it's
It's like a sticker.
Yeah, like every time you
System.
buy, you get a sticker, and then you put it on the card, and then when you get a full card, you get a free eighth or
It's
whatever.
like how the
Yeah.
Tim Hortons thing works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or one of those, buy 9 shirts, get one free.
Yeah, like a little
Yeah.
punch card, kind of, only
Buy
with
9
stickers.
subs,
9
get one
shirts.
free.
9 shirts, get the
people do
10th
that
one
with, like,
free.
subs.
Spencer's, maybe?
No, yeah, Spencer does a shirt thing. Yeah.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
It rather.
Does he? I love that. I love that.
I like Spencer's. They're just kind of expensive.
I like Spencer. He's a good guy.
He's a person who sells really weird stuff.
He has a
lots
good
of
selection
porn.
of stuff. I enjoy Spencer's stuff. That's dirty.
Spencer's novelties. I love
Spencer's
novelties.
novelties. I enjoy his novelties.
Don't buy weed from
I mean,
Spencer's.
we're just not going to mention how much, porn-related stuff they sell, right?
That's the joke.
That's the joke.
No, honestly though, working at an adult store, I love going to Spencer's because I'm an employee at an adult store, I go into the back and I'm like, okay, so what do they sell that we sell and what do we sell that's better?
Nice.
Right? So I'm looking and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I wish we sold that, but it's crappy plastic, so kind of not. But the only reason I like the ones that they sell at Spencer's is because they have really fun designs on them.
Nice.
And you can get weed ones, and we got a couple of them at my store at one point, but the selection at Spencer's was so much bigger, and I'm like, fuck you guys.
That's
Screw
weird,
you.
considering that you guys specialize.
But the quality is the difference.
Oh, it's always Spencer's is always crap. Yeah.
See, these were plastic little vibrators that have cool plastic designs on them that I really wouldn't suggest you put in your body. They're more for novelty purposes, but they're cute as fuck.
I mean, as long as you can find the G spot, it doesn't have to go outside. But sure,
Hey. And clean your toys, my friends.
always.
Always clean your toys. Just a little sexual health tip for you. That's all I'm saying.
You can
Moving
do it.
on.
Anyways,
Explain
back to
the strain.
explain the strain. Yeah, thank you for the dildo pep talk there. I'm sure our
good,
female
healthy
listeners
sex.
and every listener probably could use that information. I'm not just going to settle to females.
I
Everybody
mean,
could
not
use
to
a little-
plug Spencer's as your sex shop. Please don't. But
try a real sex shop. Spencer's a novelty store. Novelties. Anywho,
and if you don't know what novelty means, look it up because I'm not explaining it to you.
Cute outfits. Carrying on.
Anywho, peanut butter breath. About peanut butter breath, also known as the peanut butter cup. The strain is a cross of Dosidos and Mendobreath.
Mendobreath.
Creates a unique peanut butter terpene profile that is nutty and earthly when smoked beyond the terps. This strain is noted for sedating high that will bring you down to a quality state of relaxation.
Very nice.
I think it's done that.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's pretty chill, mellow.
I mean, I keep having those potholes, right? Over
Yeah,
and
that's
over.
true, man.
It'll
Well,
fuck you up.
If
You
you
know,
want some more, yeah. Just,
For people
I'm
who are
I still want to be able to talk.
new to podcasting, when you come on for the first time, they aren't really prepared for the amount of weed that we smoke during a podcast.
I mean, well, what you need to mention to the listeners is how much we smoked before we started recording.
That's also it, is that we're not just smoking when we get on the podcast. We are pre-baking. We are pre-baking the fuck out of ourselves before we get into the oven for real.
Yeah, we are.
Okay?
pre-bake that oven, bitch. We pre-bake.
We pre-bake and then we bake again. We are double baked and then triple baked.
I start fried and then I get baked.
We pre-bake at 420.
Yeah, pre-bake at 420 and
Trina,
then
you
you
set the
flip
oven?
the other side and you pre-bake on... No, you rebake. Rebake.
There's actually types of foods that you boil and then bake. Or
What isn't
or
it,
you
like
fry
twice
and
baked
then bake.
potatoes?
So I'm just gonna call myself fried and then rebaked.
There's twice baked potatoes. We are twice baked potatoes. Oh my god, that
or
is the name
we're
of this episode.
What the fuck's a twice baked
Baked
potato?
and
Yo,
refried.
it's fucking
Baked and
delicious is what it
refried. I'm
is.
going with
You
that.
know what a fucking twice baked potato is?
I've only had it once.
I'm sorry, this is amazing, folks. 'Cause this is a motherfucker that eats 5 things off the kids' fucking menu.
Yo, fuck you, motherfucker.
What?
cheese.
But he's
Sometimes-
worked in restaurants his
Sometimes
entire working career.
people just
5
want small
things.
portions,
I
Chris.
eat
No,
more
it's not about
than
small
5
portions.
things, motherfucker.
It's literally grilled cheese, chicken fingers,
Yeah, no.
pepperoni pizza, or cheese pizza.
Anything you can find on a kid's menu,
You
he will probably
You
eat.
Sure?
Oh,
Hot dogs.
Like hot dogs.
Fuck you. You go to a sushi restaurant, I bet they have a kid's menu. I ain't eating off that menu.
No,
probably
they
got-
don't. They don't have a kids menu.
Because they know kids don't
Have you
eat
ever
fucking
been
sushi.
Kids are
Sushi
smart enough not to
restaurant.
eat sushi.
No, you didn't hear my statement.
No. Hello, were you listening? Was I supposed to be listening? Sorry.
Shifty
You're
eyes.
getting me high and then asking me to pay attention. I don't. These are contradictory messages.
Want another waxy nugget?
Yeah.
Oh, she nods.
Yes, please.
That was cute.
Well, let's talk about that, because Ryan brought this waxy nugget again. If you remember the first episode we ever done, if you haven't listened to that, it's episode number 1. You should go listen to it. It's a little rough. We are still trying to figure some shit out.
Yeah, our first shot was. Yeah.
But it was because we called it wax nugget because Ryan was able to get this wax stuff. It's what's it? Explain that shit, right?
It's so it's a sativa wax crumble, actually. It's a little bit drier than the last time. Like if anybody remembers way back to episode 1 when I was talking about the waxy nugget.
That's what I just explained.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this one's not quite so waxy. It's more like crumbly and nuggety.
I was so waiting for you to say that. Why did I put that in there?
Oh, but it's by
That's what
I think it's by Blendcraft. Yeah. And it's about 79.8% THC.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little high.
This
A
little
little. No, that's a big high. That is a big high. Big water.
That's-
Anybody know Land Before Time? Because that would be from that.
This
Anyway.
is like the 3rd time we brought it Land Before Time.
Oh, sorry.
It's because it's a
this
really good
podcast.
movie, Chris.
It
Any
is.
90s babies will understand. It breaks your heart, but it reels you right back in. Okay? Okay?
It's true.
Thank
good
you.
movie.
Thank you.
It's getting hot in here.
But
So take off all your clothes.
So-
Wait, don't, actually.
Ryan got this from our local dispensary, as you
Oh
should
yes,
go to.
from our favorite local dispensary, Forest City Marijuana.
Forest City, marijuana.
That place is
What up,
You-
my
you-
brother?
awesome.
Sorry, that rhymed.
You're getting hyper.
I'm a little wired. I've had some sugar. I've had some sativa, and I'm a little wired. I already said that. I'm done.
We're good.
I think the peanut butter bread's indica.
Is it?
It's indica, yeah.
Well, I actually haven't
I
smoked
think
too much
so.
of that. I was smoking from the other pile. This is my first.
That's also
toke.
indica.
My mom knows I prefer indica, so it's probably
So you've been piling me up with sativa? I mean indica?
Wow.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, indica?
You got me fucked up, man.
I think it's indica, yeah.
Wait, Ryan. Can I have some of that too?
You want to get high school high?
I want to get high school high.
Again.
He's fun.
Take away my pain.
Yeah, you've been working lots too lately. Going
Yeah.
back to work since everything's starting to open up.
Yeah, everything opened up, so I'm back at both my jobs
you,
on a
sir.
pretty regular basis.
Right.
And going from working 2 days a week and having most of the week off and only having short shifts on those 2 days, then going every single day and for longer shifts has been a little bit of an awkward adjustment because I just got rushed right into it, right?
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
No adjustment.
It was like, okay, you're not really working that much, and now you are. Your next 2 weeks are full. And then it's just like the next, like, I don't know, maybe I'll drop back down, which I'm going to be a little bit pissed off about. But
Yeah, you need the hours, right?
I desperately need the hours. COVID hit hard, my friend, and, our money situation, plus, we've managed, but I need the hours.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's like everybody right now.
we get by. We're fine. You know, like it's not like we're a minute from being out in the cold or anything like that. We're very lucky that way, but there's always the
prices have really gone up since COVID though, so everybody's in need. It's understandable.
yeah, like everything is just like harder. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
definitely.
harder.
It's understandable. Anyhow, so I got myself more of this wax. Is it called?
Yes, sativa wax crumble.
All right, so
Oh,
I
this is
have
the sativa. There you
so
go.
I have sativa wax crumble on top of an indica bowl. Then
Yeah.
all right, I haven't had any of the crumble
I
yet.
mean-
What you
so-
might call a hybrid.
Huh? That's funny.
All about them dad jokes.
Yeah. Don't laugh. Just shit. All right,
a little
I'm gonna
demon,
take
that
this
laugh.
shit.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't wait for me. I've got to get my bowl packed.
It would be fun, a bubbler. Do you remember that elephant bubbler
Yes.
you made me break?
I did not make
What?
you break it. You broke it on your own.
No, you made me drop it.
Anyways,
It was really cute. It was really cute. It
Dang.
like had little elephant ears, and it was just this tiny little bubbler.
Aw, I love elephants.
And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, the tube that you like actually smoked out of was its snout.
That's so
Yeah.
cute.
I forgot you love elephants.
Elephants
too,
are
so
like my favorite
you
thing on
probably
the
would have
planet.
loved it. Yeah. It was
Elephants and deer. I love to. I like to draw deer more than I actually like deer themselves. I mean, I'm sure they're fine animals, but I've never really had a relationship or interaction with a deer,
Oh.
you know, to be like, you're a good deer. I love elephants, though. I actually rode on the back of an elephant once when I was younger.
I'm guilty to say the same, but
No.
that's not something to be
No.
proud of, dude.
No, it was a camel, and I was like 3, and believe me, I'm not an advocate for zoos or any kind of thing. I am so fucking against zoos. Shut
Zoos,
them the
no,
fuck down.
Hold on. No, if we could just take a moment. Sorry. I didn't mean to shit on zoos because when a zoo is well maintained and when it's run properly, like the Toronto Zoo, they do a lot of research and they actually really support education, and so it's really helpful for the animal survival. And they literally, the way that they maintain them, because they're well maintained, it's like putting a human up in a 5-star hotel. But bad zoos where they don't have proper socializing, they don't have proper environments, yeah, that's terrible. Shut those all down.
you know, they got
What
meth
I'm saying
heads
is that
running them.
when I rode on an elephant, it was a situation of a circus coming to boot.
Oh.
And those are usually elephants that are pretty abused.
Yeah, no, it wasn't,
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
it wasn't a circus. It was not a circus. It was a zoo. I just don't remember what zoo because I was really little.
Yeah, but you were a camel, so that's different. It
Yeah.
was a camel, so that's
Yeah, it was. I was really, really little.
different.
You
were a
probably
camel.
would have went
That's
to
how
a-
high you've got me.
You probably would have went to the African lion safari.
It was an African lion safari. I do remember
They don't
that.
let you get out and
No.
interact.
don't.
And actually, I have like trauma from
dangerous.
African lion safari.
No.
I didn't know why. Every time I thought of African lion safari, I got really upset.
Oh no.
Right? And I couldn't figure out why. It's not even a bad trauma, but I just always remember feeling upset and like there's like anger associated.
Negative association.
Negative association
emotions.
with it. So I asked my mom one day, I'm like, why the hell do I
Not like it.
not like this? I've never even been there. And she was like, actually, that's not true. I'm like, huh? And she was like, so your aunt came down to visit and we went with your dad when you were like 2 or 3.
Itty bitty, yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And she was like, and we were driving through and everything was fine. And your father had the window down.
Uh-oh.
And a giraffe stuck his head in the window and licked your father in the ear. And he lost his shit.
Like you got angry?
Like, yeah, angry.
Uh-oh.
And he was like, nope, we're done. We're leaving. Blah, 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 blah. And I guess all I remember is him getting angry.
That's what children do. They remember how they felt.
So
Oh.
all I can think about when I think of African lion safari is a negative
Your dad
association.
hated it.
No, like I didn't even know that it was that was the
No,
reason.
subconsciously you knew that your dad hated it.
Yeah, so
not
like I was
consciously.
just like I never want to go there. I didn't have a want to go there. I have the same problem with Marineland.
Okay, Marineland sucks ass and they need to close down.
I 100% agree, but at 3 And 4 years old,
What did you know? I went at like 6.
you know,
so,
like
yeah.
you don't think about that, and the news wasn't as prominent about that
I didn't
stuff.
know nothing like at all. Yeah.
About that back in the day, right, when we were growing up. So at the time, it was like, oh, Marineland, fun, because they had roller coasters and stuff too.
I didn't get to go on any of that, but I got to see the whale show.
Yeah. So I guess again, around 2 or 3, anger,
Oh no, boo.
and we left before we got to do anything.
That sounds.
So
That's really a reminder of abusive days. Wow.
So I was like, huh, okay, so that's why I don't really like Marineland. Because even when we went years later, because my uncle was like, well, I'm going to rectify this, I'm going to take you, right? I was like,
Still kind of not feeling it. Eh?
this is uncomfortable. Also, the fact of the matter is, like, I was a bit older, and I was like, I don't like this. Like, just Marineland in general.
I'm not a child anymore.
No, it wasn't even that. Like, I was old enough to enjoy
Still
what was
like
there,
it, yeah.
but I was like, I felt like I was like touching the whales and stuff like that, and I was just like, this is making me sad. Like, it's the captivity I don't like, right? So it's just like,
you had an awareness of that.
yeah, like it was just kind of like, I don't like being here anymore kind of thing.
I've never been to Marineland, I don't think, but I do remember. I actually have a pretty funny story about my visit to the African lion safari.
African lion. Sued.
Right? yeah, shut the fuck up. They need the money. They'll sue us.
Safari.
Thank you. I needed somebody to finish it.
Anyways, we went there when I was like, oh fuck, I can't remember. It's 5, not even 4. I remember most of this because I've been told many times by my family. My older brother, Brandon, we were on the bus. We held the big blue bus. I believe that's where we were because it was a regular school bus that my grandfather painted blue or got it blue, whatever. I don't know. I don't know the
Someone
whole
in your
story behind
family
it.
owned it?
Yeah, my grandfather owned it. That's how he took all us kids to Florida.
Cool.
All his grandkids, all the kids, all of us, right? And so we went to Florida and we stopped at African Lion Safari to fucking see African Lion Safari.
Like, that's not even far. That's just Guelph.
Right? Well, what's on the way, I think. We drove all the way.
You probably took the border at Niagara. Sorry, carry on.
Anyways, so we get there and the monkeys are all climbing over the fucking place. They're trying to rip off all the metal
They're
off
all
the
about
fucking
your
bus.
bus, yeah.
The bus, yeah. And my grandpa was like, hey, get the goddamn monkeys, right? And all this shit. And I remember one time they were talking about how, I guess, like, they were going by fucking either giraffes or lions or something, and like, hey, look, giraffes. And my brother Jordan was sitting behind my grandfather with a cup of, like, orange pop. And he was like, where? And he dumped it all down my grandfather's shirt. He goes, hey! Like, just, like, come on now! Right? And also, as we're going through, my brother Brandon, as I was saying, my older brother Brandon was feeding the giraffes with fucking Doritos. And so the giraffe came in the window and was like, oh, with his big old tongue. And I believe he licked my brother Brandon in the face. And my brother Brandon was like almost throwing up because of the smell of the fucking giraffe's breath. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm sure they can reach their ass. Anyway.
Yeah, so you don't know where the hell that tongue has been.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I actually, the one time I really enjoyed, I did go to the zoo when I was in college for photo week, because I did a photography course, right? So we did a bunch of trips during photo week, and one of them was the Toronto Zoo, and I got some amazing freaking photos that time. However, I was really upset over the elephant pit. Like, I didn't understand it at the time, and I get why you told me about it after, but the elephant pit was just like this big dirt pit with a fucking jungle gym in it for some fucking reason. Like, yeah, because an elephant can use a jungle gym. And then basically, like, I was freaked out because they had these things around their feet, and I thought they were like chains. And I was just like, why are they doing that? Why is that? Like, and I was really upset about it. It was later that Chris explained to me that it's weights, so they feel like they're chained, so they don't run or stampede or do anything. But they're not actually chained to anything. But in my head, I'm like, why are they putting weights on their feet? That's cruel.
Yeah, when you don't understand things, it can really seem cruel, but it's saving them from the trauma of storming a wall, because they'll do that sometimes.
Yeah, like they can stampede, and they're big animals, so I get that now. But like at the time, before he explained that to me, I'm like, that's cruel. Like,
do you know about is it Jumbo? Mm-hmm. Do you know about Jumbo from St. Thomas?
I told her about Jumbo.
Vaguely remember it.
We go to Jumbo Video all the time, and I remember. I think maybe you asked why it's an
Why
elephant.
did it never occur to me it was based on that Jumbo?
You didn't know?
I know of Jumbo Video, but I didn't put together it was St. Thomas Jumbo. No.
Because it's an elephant and the fuck. Obviously, it's Jumbo. The elephant and Jumbo.
I saw Jumbo Video living in like north of Toronto, up in Bolton. So the association just wasn't. I learned about Jumbo much later in my adulthood. Okay.
True. Well, I've actually been to the site where he was hit. Because it's in.
Oh, I've just
know.
been to the statue.
Happened?
That's what. Well, isn't
So
that
Jumbo
where it was?
is a circus elephant that went to St. Thomas, and he got out and stampeded a train
Oh.
and died.
Aww.
Yeah, and so they built a statue memorial.
I
of
thought that's
him.
where he died.
Poor baby.
Well, it's on the top of a hill.
Well, it's in the area where he was.
I understood that he died upon stampeding a train, which means it would have to be on train tracks.
I
Yeah.
think the train killed him. I don't think he killed the train.
Yeah, I think he
No,
got
he
loose.
didn't hurt the train, but he tried to stampede it, is what I understood. He tried to charge it
Oh, I always understood that he got loose and just running, and the train couldn't stop and hit him.
and hit him. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe I misunderstood, but either way, got hit by a train.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
in St. Thomas. Yeah, there's a statue. We should go visit sometime.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
I went there like actually just a few weeks ago, or no, maybe a month ago. I was bored. My friend and I were bored, so we were driving around.
I need a car. I need my license.
She has a car and she lets me.
But
drive
I'm
it. It's so
afraid
nice.
of driving. Like, let's be honest, my anxiety is so high.
That's always how I think anybody smart who reasonably realizes that you can cause a lot of harm with a car. Something a lot of people don't think of is
I have a good respect for a large vehicle.
you can
know?
cause more deaths with a vehicle than you can with a gun. For example, just think about the poor family in London that
Yeah,
lost their
that was
lives,
awful.
right?
Unfortunate.
So
That was
like,
awful.
and that's
It's
just.
unfortunate.
But there's also the one in Toronto, like 5 years ago or whatever, and way more people died in that case. So more the point is, you respect the dangerousness of a car. But once you get behind the wheel and you get a feel for it, if you let yourself learn, you realize that you're capable.
Like, I've driven a little bit. Like, I've had my friend let me drive a bit and, like, teach me around the parking lot and stuff like that. I just, it's still scary. Like, I remember having to go through one of those little parking median things, right? Like, because we were driving around Fanshawe. And, I went to go through one of the little parking median things, and I'm like, oh my god, the car isn't going to fit. The car isn't going to fit. And my friend's like, you need to calm your
Learning
ass
the dimensions
down.
of the car is for me the hardest.
Right? Like, I was so worried that, like, I was going to hit something, or, like, I just couldn't gauge how big. And that's a big part of driving, is knowing the width of your car.
I got my friend
know?
to get out, and I was like, can you please just put your knees up against the bumper so I can sit in the driver's seat and see where your knees are?
Yeah.
to
Like,
try
it's
and
just a
learn the
lot
vehicle.
to take in, and with somebody who's already super anxious, it's a little,
It's
it's a lot.
extra steps, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you had a point, Chris.
No.
So, I guess we should get around to doing some social media plugs.
Oh yes. Yeah, you've been listening to us as at Always Room for More Podcast. That's us on Facebook and Instagram.
And you can always find us at Always More Pod on Twitter as well. And if you want to check out Becca's social media or any of her videos on YouTube, you can find her at...
A Life Learned. Just search A Life Learned, no spaces, basically anywhere. Twitter, Tumblr, Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube, because it's a YouTube channel.
Yeah. And she posts, like, pretty awesome, informative videos about different mental health things, different political
It's kind of
situations.
just like an informative channel where I talk about whatever, but it's like mental health, social stigmas, awareness, and stupid, funny bloopers now and then. I just post what I want, yeah.
You know, I'm sure one day we'll have a blooper reel of all the fucked up shit that we had recorded, but we got cut out because we're just stupid and that kind of bullshit, you know?
Yeah, we have some interesting potholes, as we call them. But I love us.
Behind the scenes, did we did we test 3 episodes before we got...
We did like 8 episodes before we actually put out a first episode that we liked. So there is backup content that maybe one day, if we're lucky, maybe somebody might pay Patreon to listen to, because those are some gold figuring out some shit podcasts, my friends.
In that sense, people are the funniest. It depends on if you like awkward humor.
Honestly, some of those episodes were gold, and I'm a little sad we couldn't use them because some of the jokes in those first episodes were just on point. And I'm like, man, we're so funny. Like, not to toot our own horn, but I'm excited for those episodes to eventually get released somewhere because
Why couldn't they be used?
they're fantastic. Oh, just because, like, we were stumbling around and...
We had a weird system of recording. We used 2 laptops to fucking
before we
record it.
got
that's
the
complicated.
interface, we had, like, a 2 laptop setup that just was messed up, and we had to, like, do a sync where we had to, like, clap and make sure that the 2 laptops were lined up and stuff. Yeah,
That's annoying.
it was a lot.
Ugh.
I don't remember what that's officially called. That's a spinny question. But yeah, so it will definitely
That's like a time marker.
Yeah, so it was a hard setup, and that's why we eventually were like, okay, well, we got the new setup. Let's just start from scratch. Let's start anew.
Oh, after 3 you got a new setup.
It was
Yeah.
like after 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
After
sorry.
8, yeah.
We
Huh,
really
not
got
a
it
mint. Not the mint.
No, we really got it down to the science now, though, I think. And, like, I got my perfect sign-off now, because I didn't have the sign-off that I have now that I used to have. I was trying to do this weird
Having
thing.
a regular close helps. I have that.
We
too.
were still figuring shit out, you know? So those are golden
My
beginnings
first-
of this podcast,
Yeah.
I've got
episodes.
some, okay, my God, please don't do this, but if you go to the beginning of my channel, that's where you'll see stuff like that, where, like, my very, very first vlog that I put out, I like to be kind of relevant, so my first subject was how to start new things. And I talk like this because I'm feeling so anxious and shy, and I don't really know what I'm doing, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And I rewatch it, and I'm just like, oh my God,
I'm not
that's
gonna
me.
lie, there's old YouTube videos. There's a video on my old channel of me 2 weeks after I learned to play guitar, knocking on heaven's door, and it is cringy as fuck.
Okay, so the second cringy, and I'll stop here, but I think it's the second video I made. It's within the first 5. Mm-hmm. I did a contest. What was it? Face making contest among celebrity faces that I could Google. Yeah, like you said, just trying things out.
Yeah, just testing the water, seeing how it goes.
Yeah, except I posted it.
Oh,
And
well,
it's still
babe.
up.
Well, let's smoke weed
okay.
about that.
Let's smoke weed about that.
Yes, please. And then after this toke, I would love to hear about your guys' Canada Day because I wasn't able to be here, but I heard about it on social media and I was so envious about like everything that I saw. It just looked so cool. But like, I was what, an hour's distance away, so I just couldn't.
Well, yeah, to give a brief little update to our followers who
Yeah.
might not know, Chris and I went to an amazing walk on Canada Day. So July 1st, it was called the Turtle Island Healing Walk, and it was honoring all of the residential school survivors and remembering and honoring those who never made it home. And one of the things they explicitly talk about is this is not a march, this is not a protest, this is a memorial. We're here to walk for the children. We're here to commemorate and remember the one and honor the people who did come home and who had to suffer through that horrific, circumstance. So we're not marching, we are honoring, and we want this to be a silent walk. Obviously, with over 10,000 people, it's really difficult to be silent.
Yeah.
But the intention was there, and it was led, the whole walk was led by jingle dress dancers. And
I saw that in some of your videos. It's so cool.
And then after the jingle dress dancers was followed by survivors. And then they asked all of the native descended people to walk at the front.
That explains your photos.
And that's also
'Cause
why
there were so many.
a good chunk of the walk, I was actually not walking with Chris because he was holding a number representing.
That's where the numbers came from. That's so cool.
So the numbers that they handed out.
It's ridiculous.
The numbers that they handed out were in representation of every child that has been found
At the various different schools.
At
So
the
they were
various
like
different
the
schools.
numbers for like the Saskatchewan school and the Alberta
So
schools.
kind of, it
Well,
was like
they
it
were-
went from 1 to, I think they went as far as 250.
Yeah.
And they were like, this isn't counting, but we're only going to go up to 250. But every single one of you, even without a number, represents one of the children.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So, like, a lot of them were just, we actually had numbers, but you were, as a walker, a representation of every child that never made it home from residential school.
That's so cool.
And it was amazing. There was speakers from different tribes. There were just, it was really beautiful. They had what's it called? What's the they were singing? They had a special name, and I don't remember what they were called.
Well.
The drumming and the singing.
I didn't catch the names. It was hard to hear. We were so far back, I couldn't hear much of it. So
Yeah. No, it was honestly beautiful. You know, and obviously it meant a lot to Chris. Like, your whole family was basically there pretty much.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, like the fact that we were there for the people that survived and stuff like that, but also the way that it affect not just who didn't make it and stuff like that, but there are survivors that basically were really affected by it because the schools didn't end until 1997, and there were day schools where people like one of my dad's ex-girlfriends was in one of those and stuff like that, and people like that who end up having to live with the trauma that they went through and started going with drugs or alcoholism and stuff like that, suicide. So that's why there's so much of that in our what do you call it? Nation,
Culture.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of the services that I'm learning about in my social work studies, specifically, are being highlighting or are surrounding a lot of ways that we can be allies to First Nations and Indigenous people because, excuse me, through the systemic racism that has come out of the genocidal attitude of the government and the way that they've just been trying to literally rip the Indian, as they put it, even though you guys aren't Indians. I just want to put that there. Columbus thought he was finding India. He didn't. But anyway, even though the whole goal of the Indian law was to rip the Indian out of First Nations people, to rip your culture out of you and assimilate you into
Which
the
is
Canadian
sickening.
mind and the Canadian way of life because they thought that this would be better for their
Right.
politics. A lot of people are commenting that they just never heard about this before and they're feeling, in one sense, frustrated because they're like, well, I feel like I'm being accused, like this is my fault. And so one thing the point I wanted to raise is that what I'm learning with all my schooling is this isn't about fault. It's not about who did it, although in some senses it is, because just a note that because it only ended in 97, there are still living people that can be held accountable for some of the things that those people went through, that living people are still dealing with the intergenerational trauma is what it's referred to.
Like we want more acknowledgement from like the Pope, like Christian.
I forgot to look it up, but there's about the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, right? And how there are like 80, I want to say 80 or 90 actions that they've said need to be done to truly reconcile the trauma and the genocidal behaviors that have happened over the last centuries. So I want to say like 5 have actually been completed, or 6. I'm doing bad numbers, but under 10. And so that's one thing I just want to say to anyone listening: if you want to support Chris, and if you want to learn, if you want to show support for Canada being a place where we don't support genocide anymore, and you want to see change in terms of the systemic racism that people like Chris's family still face every day.
Yep.
First things first, educate yourself. And that means don't make it someone else's job to teach you things, but do be curious, research, Google, and if you have the bravery, go talk to someone in an organization. There are a lot of First Nations organizations, like social work related, that can teach you. And they're actually pretty open on some reses if you want to contact them, like by phone, a lot of them have websites actually, or just uplifting Indigenous creators. That's what I did for my last act of green, by the way, because I do that for every Earth Day. And my recent one was to uplift the Oneida environmental coordinator, just local, just near
That's
south
fantastic.
of London. Yeah, and so I did an interview with him, and he shared his main thoughts on the ways that people can both be supportive of First Nations people, Indigenous rights and needs and cultures, but also he just talked about things we can do to support environmentalism and the need to get back in touch with the environment.
Yes, yeah.
And so educate yourself on that stuff. Don't make it someone else's job to teach you, but definitely go learn about those things. And then talk to politicians, because they do actually have to listen to the voters. Write to your local MP and whatever and be like, I want those truth and reconciliations acted on. I want them done. I want something happening there, because that commission and all of that was concluded and made. Like, it's the Truth and Reconciliation Act. And the commission is the one who made the act, which have all these actions, right? So, like, again, like 6 or so have actually been completed. That was in 2015.
My gosh.
So, like, we just need more action on it. So
Yeah.
that I don't want to get too much more political, but my whole point is, if you want to support, learn, and then write to your local politician or even just your local city councilor and be like, this matters to me. Do something about it.
And this is exactly why I wanted you on the podcast. That was so eloquently spoken. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And I think that's going to happen more now, that people are going to start
I really hope so.
learning more about it, because it's so like Trina wanted to know more about it, and I showed her a movie that I saw when I was in NSL,
And it was
it was about how
heartbreaking.
these 2 survivors of these schools and how they got away, or how they survived basically, and they're telling their stories, their true stories, and it was called We Were Children.
Yeah, I have to advocate for that movie. It was a very, very difficult watch. I was basically on the brink of tears the entire time, but I managed to hold it together. But there are some things that you just have to force yourself to watch to make yourself a better person.
It's not even. I just want to forgive anybody listening. It's not about making yourself anything a better person. It's just so much being open-minded. It's
if
always
you're
a good
looking to
idea.
learn, you know,
That's
if
what
you're
I mean.
looking
Like, you
learn
need to
about
be
it.
open to being able to, like, I normally don't watch things that upset me, and I knew this was going to upset me, but I knew I needed to learn because I love you, Chris, and I want to make sure that I'm as educated as I possibly can. And
like,
for our future children who are going to have your blood.
and my grandmother, my great grandmother was,
She was a survivor, right?
of those schools.
Just
of the
your great
residential
grandmother? I
schools.
thought it was your grandma as well.
Well, probably she went to the day schools that were also open still. They're just
If
a lot
you're
of
not
people
sure,
that
I think it's probably a good idea to sit down with her and learn.
I've told him that. I've mentioned a million times.
We don't need to.
Sorry.
Anywho, let's just smoke weed about that.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So just a side note that I guess he can cut this out. I can't hear myself anymore. Is that a thing?
It died.
Oh, it died. Okay, cool. That's as long as it's still recording, because I was like,
Okay, fine.
Cool. Oh, that was a rough one.
Thanks for coming along for the high. Because there's always room for more.